We've been talking about COVID, of course, and just the grim totals that have been coming out, marking 100,000 cases. We just reported on Wednesday. That's at the peak of what we were looking at back in February. So it's on par with where we were several months ago. And we know that there's been major events, right, Shannon, that have been happening. The Milwaukee Bucks in July, of course, winning NBA champs. But there was a huge gathering, as that happens when you celebrate and you win. And they're now reporting about 500 COVID cases traced back to, and there you see it.
Wow.
It's no wonder why 500 cases of COVID linked to the Milwaukee Deer District, and where you're looking at that huge crowd, that's the Deer District where massive celebrations happened. Now, officials caution that the cases can't be definitively linked to the NBA final celebrations, but they are saying that they are noticing some contact tracing. So, that crowd though.
Yeah, you know, I remember that day when we showed that crowd on television and we commented and said, oh my gosh, nobody's wearing a mask. There's a lot of people in that crowd. No one has a mask on, or at least they're not using it properly. And we mentioned concerns of this happening, these super spreader events where everyone comes out. Yes, they were happy that the Bucks were in the playoffs and they won the championship and they were out there celebrating, but you got to celebrate responsibly. There's no way to social distance in that type of crowd. So, you know, that's why the CDC is so concerned about these super spreader events like these music festivals that are happening, like Lollapalooza, when so many people are coming to one solid area and they can't move. They're packed in like sardines and they're breathing on each other, they're touching each other, and that makes an easy breeding ground for these diseases and COVID to just trace and be tracked to all these people that are there.
And you know, with Lollapalooza, there was also that other sidebar story that we were talking about earlier this morning during the commercial break about stolen phones. Like folks really traveling miles, Shannon, to Lollapalooza, over 1,000 miles to steal phones. So there were apparently plenty of pickpocketers in this crowd who, you know, when you're at a concert, you just bump up against someone, you might be dancing, waving your hands as you saw there, and you don't notice that you might have just, you know, lost your wallet, got it stolen until you get home or until you get back to the hotel. But folks looking to do evil, right? I mean, traveling over 1,000 miles to steal phones.
Oh yeah, they're strategic. They're planning that out. They're like, okay, we know everybody's going to be there. Everybody's going to have their phones on them. They're going to be out. So not only do they have to, you know, just go down there, they just show up and you see people with their phones, they're filming stuff, they put it in their pocket and bam, they attack. You
know, it's so sad though, you know, because people are looking to have a good time. Everyone's been cooped up for the past, you know, year and a half now, and you're excited, you get the ticket for Lollapalooza, and then somebody comes in and steals something from you, like probably the first time you're at a major event through the pandemic. You plan it, you got your COVID test, you did everything you're supposed to do, and then somebody out there looking to do evil. And you know, that kind of stuff bothers me. I'm telling you, Shannon.
Yeah, and those phones are not cheap. $1,000 phones are taken, and they're coming up. Now, some people were able to get their phones returned. That's how they found out about this story, and people traveling 1,000 miles to do it. But it's sad. It's disrespectful. Just, you know, again, the golden rule. That's the theme of the day, the golden rule, people. And you know what? Places like Lollapalooza, and they're having these super spreader events, they need to take note from South Dakota. South Dakota is having a big bike rally coming up, and they are sending test kits, COVID test kits to people's houses. Before you even come, take the test yourself. Make sure that you are COVID free before you get in the car, before you get on your bike and head to South Dakota. They're free tests. It only takes 15 minutes to get your results, and that's what they want to do to try to prevent a super spreader event from happening there. And of course, they're also tests available in South Dakota, but that way, before you even get on the road, find out if you have it or not.
Or you could be like our former president and just scale back. You know, just scale it back. It doesn't need to be hundreds and hundreds of people. Like we know his birthday bash, his party was planned for this weekend, 600 people. He scaled it back to family and close friends because of the Delta variant. Because even if they take that test, you know, there's no guarantee that variant and the way it's spreading. You know, I'm concerned about future variants too, as things evolve, and if folks don't get vaccinated, because we know, Shannon, 90 million people still do not have their vaccination. And, you know, that number, and then you think about all of the new cases we're seeing, it's scary. And, you know, science is science. We cannot predict whether another variant from another variant will evolve. But, you know.
Well, you made a good point. That's what scientists are saying, that if people aren't vaccinated, the virus will keep mutating and adapting and keep transmitting different, you know, to different people and creating different viruses to get into different systems. So that's why they're encouraging everyone to get vaccinated, so we do not continue to see all these mutations and different variants pop up, because it unfortunately will keep happening if people aren't protecting themselves and others. So.